Hello everybody. Today we're going to see if we can put some rubber on some rims using this antique COATS tire changer. It's a Tireman. It used to belong to my dad. So a little story behind this. This was in my dad's garage growing up. It was there, boy, as long back as I can remember. And he passed away in 1983 and my mom sold it or got rid of it somehow. And it was lost for a long time, and I had trouble finding it, didn't know where it was at all, but given up. And then a member of the family discovered it in a barn, didn't know they even had it. And so I was very happy to get it back. So today we're going to see if this old tire changer can still put rubber on rims, and in a future video we might just fix it up. So let's get to it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take the valve stem, or the valve out of the stem rather. That's the quickest way to get all the air out of it. They got a few tools for that. I'm going to use this one. This one is a just a little screwdriver like one that takes it out really simple. You might have seen ones that look like this, a little T thing that does a few things and has an end on here that takes the valve stem out. I've also got this one. This one has a valve stem remover here, or excuse me, a valve remover here, and this lets you screw into the valve stem on the new valve stem and pull it through with some force to snap it in. So I'm probably going to just use this one to take it out for now, and you'll have some pressure here by taking this out. You'll want to make sure that when you do this, you got your fingers down here. You don't want that valve coming out and hitting somebody in the eye. And it whistles at you.
Like watching air come out of a
tire. First thing next, or the second thing, we have to do is break the bead on this. So you can see this is pretty tough against the inside of the rim here. This is the narrowest part of the tire, is the outside perimeter and the underside. And it's going to be there with some force. You can't just take it off with your hand usually. It's going to need some force to do it. Now this tire changer has some tools for that built into it. So this can break the top bead with some downward force like that. And then this swings in to do the underside and pop up the underside of the bead. So we're going to try that out. It takes a little air from the air compressor. So let me grab my hose here. The spring on this pedal is broken. Used to return to the center. Now I gotta be mindful of it because it's, there we go. So let's do the top one first. Come up here. So we're just gonna swing this over, kind of tuck this into here like this, and we're gonna do the down pedal here. I need to put this on right here, like that, and then we go down. Look at that. Popped it right open. All right, now we should be able to take this away and go all the way down, and we should be able to push this in here like this and see if we can break the bottom bead. Whoa, this needs to go in a little farther. There we go. Well, it's wanting to. It's trying. We need a little more air. Try to get it from another side. This one's tough. So now I've broken them with this before, and it hasn't been quite nearly as hard. But one thing you can do is flip it over and do the back from the top, and sometimes that gives you the extra edge. So we're gonna flip it, see if that does the trick. Usually it pops both of them, but this one's gonna be temperamental for the camera, of course. Turn that back on. Tighten down a little bit. All right. Let's see if the top will do it. Air. I'm out of air again.
Amazing.
Okay, back over here.
I'm over here. I'm right here.
Okay, sometimes a little liquid persuasion helps too. Get your little soap bottle here too to help with things. In there. Hey, there we go. All right, now we just lift it back up. Let's take this back down and lift this underneath. This is fun.
You say so.
All right, put that back. All right, now we got the bead broken. So I'm gonna flip this thing back over so you can see from the top. I guess it doesn't really make any difference, but we're gonna flip it. Okay, we're going to use a lot of lube here. Soapy water, just really like your Dawn. Go around the bead so you get it nice and slippery. It'll make taking it off and on a little easier. All right. Now, the tire tools that came with this are a little bit
Lost.
The tire tools that came with this are a bit antiquated, and I do have them. As you can see, they're a little bit crusty and they're not really turning. Normally you'd use this to take the rubber off. That wheel isn't turning at all. And you got this gripper here for the putting them on. But this actually is for putting them on too. This goes, I can show you this, in this little flange here. And this supposedly puts on the rubber. I don't really know how to use it. And like I said, none of this is turning. It's all pretty solid. I'm just happy I have all the original tools that came with this. Pretty stoked about that. At some point in time, I'm going to refurb them and get them working again a little bit. But honestly, what I may do is come up with another one of these that I've modified to put more of a, you might have seen the duck bill tire changing heads. I'll probably put one of those on there and make it a lot easier. So we're not going to use these today. Instead, I'm opting for a Harbor Freight tire changing tool like this one here. So what you want to do first is lift up the bottom of the front here so it's in the narrow part. You don't want it falling back on that bead area. Stick your pry bar underneath the lip here and pull it up like that. And then you're going to go around in circles here and spin it off like this. Easy. Then you're going to do the same thing with the underside. You're going to lift it up like this so it's not on the bead. Get underneath here. Get the other piece here. Might have to pull it up without hurting yourself. Oh, stupid. All right. Now we're just going to go around and spin it off again, just like that top. Easy. And that thing's going to hurt somebody. Okay. So next we want to try to inspect the ring around here. Look for any rust. You can see I've got some rust here. It don't look too bad, but I think I'm going to clean it up with a wire wheel here. I'm going to start, but I'll probably cut away because you probably won't see all that. I am going to put new valve stems in. So I'm going to use a knife, and back here I'm just going to cut the back of it off like that. Take them right off. Okay, let me get a wire wheel here and we'll clean this off. We're just going to do that all the way around it, up top and bottom. All right, we're going to put a new valve stem in this thing. And the way you do that is you take a new stem, you push it up through here, and then you use a tool like this one. And you just thread it onto the end of that. A little bit. And then you just pull and circle till it comes through, just like that. See how easy that was? So easy. We'll probably need that off anyway. Okay, next we're going to try to put the new rubber on, and again we got to get it really slobbery and wet here. I want to get it lubed up really good on both sides. Sprayed this one a little bit before. Okay, and of course we don't want the white wall out, so I'm going to put it just like this and push it on the bottom first as best I can, like that. Keep this in the center, and then we're going to use the old Harbor Freight tool again. This is a little tricky because you got to push this in and clip it over the edge, which is really hard to do. Oopsie. It's hard to get it in there. Like that. Okay. And then we spin it on. Got to keep this in the center. Don't want it on that bead. Like that. Easy. Now we're going to do it again with the top. Push it in there as far as you can get her. Again, it's important to keep it off the bead as you're putting it on, because this bead is the widest part, right? Down inside the wheel here, it's very narrow, and you need that narrow in order to have enough room for the rubber to stretch over. So as you're going around, make sure this is pushed down. Okay, here we go again. This can be a little tricky with these old tools. There we go. This goes on this side. pushed it. Sorry about that. Let me push this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, see right here, we're on the bead. We want to get that down. Keep pushing it down. And it's on! Don't really know how in the world you use those old tools. Maybe in another video we'll try to figure that out, but this tool works just fine. So now we see if we can air it up. And this part can be really tricky, but we're gonna give it a shot here. I may have to take it off of here to do it, as these are shipped. And I had this one shipped. Anyway, when they're made, they wrap them up, and so the centers like squish together, the inside rims of these tires squish together. And then when you want to air them up, they haven't relaxed, and so they don't want to separate, so you can hit the bead on both sides and get a good seal. So we're going to see what we can do here. And this could be a little tricky. I might have to take this off and do it on the floor. I'm going to try this. I don't know. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. I knew that was going to happen. We're going to switch to the other inflator valve because it's got a built-in gauge. And we want this, tire says 44 on it. Probably don't want it quite that big. I think we're running out of air pressure because I didn't let it keep going. We're close to 40. All right. Squeak. All right. Now we're going to spray this a little bit because I want to make sure that there aren't any leaks in that bead around there. And let me grab some more juice over here. We'll give it a squirt around here and see if we have any bubbles. I want to make sure we don't have any bubbles. You guys see any bubbles?
Right there.
That's just because I'm getting the air out of the seam there. It's not leaking. If it's leaking, you'll see a lot of bubbles coming up. And I just don't see any. When we were airing it up, there were a few. But once it got pressure in it, made a good seal. I think we're good. We also want to check stem. I don't see anything coming out of stem. All right, good deal. So I think I'm going to flip it over. We'll do the other side and see if it's leaking as well. All right. That's just about watching it. Now, if you do have bubbles and you got something that ain't sealing real well, and you can see it, you know, you may have to. They've got some can of like a rubber goop that you can break the bead, take it all apart, coat the inside of that tire rim, or not the rim, but the tire itself with the black stuff, and then reseal it, and it'll make a better seal. But sometimes if it's beading in a spot, just one spot, you can seat it with a hammer. You just beat on the rubber. a few times, kind of hard, and it will sometimes take care of those beads. And it's just because it hasn't seated properly around there, and as you drive down the road it'd probably be okay, but I like them not to be leaking when they come off the tire changer. All right, that's all there is now. I think we're ready now for balancing. We're going to go ahead and try to balance it on this manual balancing machine. I picked this one up at like a yard sale or something, but it is an older one, but you can get them almost exactly like this at Harbor Freight and look a lot better than this one. But you can see we got a little bubble here in the middle. You want to make sure that that bubble is right in the center before you start. You need it on some level ground. Then all we're going to do is put the tire on here. It's self-centering. And see where it lands. There we go. Now we can see the bubbles a little bit off. So you want to apply weights on the side the bubble's sticking out. So over here, you see. So let me grab some weights over here. We got different, I've ordered and received different weights. Let's start with a medium one. Don't think it's quite going to be enough, but we'll put it out here and see. No, not enough. We have to use a big one. It's still not enough. So may need a couple of them over here. I don't want to put two of them on there. It's really out of balance. That looks pretty good. This wheel must really be out of balance. Yep. All right, we're gonna stick them both right here. There we go. All right, that's all there is to really. We had a little bit of trouble, but it wasn't too bad. I think the next one goes smoother. I've already done a couple of these, and they went a lot smoother than that one did. This Murphy at your I think that's about it for today. I'm gonna let her put that on the car. So you can see that it's really not that tough to use the Tireman. And I looked up the model on this. This is called a Tireman Twin-AIR is what this one is. And I had a little trouble finding other ones online exactly like this. There's a Twin-AIR 705, I think. Looks a lot different. It's does a similar function, of course, but the center post is offset. It's way different. So this particular model had a little bit of trouble finding anything on it, particularly, but it was my dad's, and I'm glad to have it back. And as you can see, it's not too tough to use. I did have to make this one piece on here because it was missing. And so I looked at some pictures online that I did find, and went ahead and took some measurements and made a scale replica of what would have been there, and put it on there. And I need to put some nuts on here. But that's it, the Tireman Twin-AIR. Maybe in a later video we'll get some maybe a restoration video together, or at least paint it up and get it looking better, get the scale off of it, fix the hoses and things. I'm just happy that this cylinder on it still works, because that could be a hairy thing, and hopefully we won't have to replace that or do anything restorative with it in a little while, other than change the hoses on it. But thanks for joining us. Mindy says thanks. And she's anxious, get her bus back on the road. So till the next time, take care.